Well, hello, everybody. Welcome to another fun-filled Campfire Tales, a place where you can come and learn some stuff about some things and stuff. As always, joining me tonight is Jeff. How you doing tonight, Jeff?
I'm good.
Jeff, can I ask you a question?
Nope.
No, I'm going to ask you anyways. Jeff, let's just
I
say...
decline.
Well, I'm going to ask you anyways. Let's just say you're alive in the... Nope, you got to answer a question. That's the ticket onto the ride. Let's just say it's
what's your question?
Let's say it's the 1940s, right? You're in the 1940s.
Okay. I'm fixing to start figuring.
You're fixing to start figuring. You're going down to the fire sale, but you're told you can pick one of two professions. Do you either want to be an ambulance driver in the 1940s, like during World War II, or work in a logging factory?
Now, when you say during World War II, would I be in the war?
You'd still be in the States. They're like, you don't really look like you can fight, so we're going to have you stay in the States and drive ambulance.
Wow. That's fine.
Well, they're like, your measurement dimensions aren't great. Like, we asked you how far away from you from that tank, and you went 86 feet. And we're like, well, that ain't going to work. You thought a Bobcat was 86 stories high? They just don't want you anywhere near where measurements could be a life or death situation.
My spatial awareness is off a little bit.
That's right. Which is why they asked you if you'd rather be
a lumberjack. Was that the question?
You can either work in a logging factory where they turn logs into lumber, or a lumber yard, but a commercial one.
Turn logs into lumber.
They turn logs into lumber, or you can be an ambulance driver.
What would I be doing in the lumber yard?
Well, climbing over logs and getting them. Obviously, they don't have the safety equipment, so you'd be like climbing up on logs and like lining them up with all the saws and bark scrapers and such. Mm-hmm. So basically, you would be like no safety harnesses equipment on probably an unstable pile of logs.
A horse and buggy ambulance around?
No, it'd be the old timey ambulance, which is real heavy. No power brakes, so like they're manual, so it's really hard to brake. And so basically, you're driving a death trap because you have to drive fast to save people.
This question, do you though? Because in the 1940s, the chance of you living when you got to the hospital are pretty low, anyways.
That's true. That's true.
I guess the ambulance. The wood thing doesn't seem like it's something that I'd want to be a part of. So.
Neither one.
Now, if it was an actual lumberjack, that's a different story. So.
Okay.
I'm just putting that out there.
Okay. All right. Fair enough. Also, we got Dave. How you doing, Dave?
Hello, Eli.
Dave, can I ask you a question?
Sorry, I kept interrupting. I just was so confused and lost.
You should apologize, and because of that, I'm going to ask you a harder question.
Great,
Dave. Let's say it's the 1940s, right?
It's the 1940s, right?
It's 1940s. They didn't send you off to the war because you have a habit of undressing in public places and putting on Christmas sweaters, which makes generally everyone feel uncomfortable.
Have you been reading my journal?
A little bit. But you go on a hot date one night and you're like, hey there, you want to go necking in the woods? And so your choice is either or the beach even. And so your choices are, you can either go someplace where it's known that a bunch of half-eaten animals are found, or a place where people have seen a mummy.
What?
Mummy.
Yeah. Either you can go try to take your date to a place where it's bad there. A bunch of animals are found half-eaten all the time. Or you can go to this other place where people are like, we've seen a mummy there.
I think I'm just going to take my hot date to Oviedo is where I'm headed.
Oviedo,
Florida. Are you not familiar?
You're in Oregon. Why are you going to drive? It's the 40s. Where are you getting the money to drive clear to Florida?
There's no beaches in Oregon.
Exactly.
There's lake beaches.
That's not a beach.
Beaches.
That's by the lake. That's not a beach.
Wait, Oregon's a coastal state, isn't it? There's beaches in Oregon. Hold on. I think you're thinking of Oklahoma, Jeff.
There's granite cliffs.
I think you're thinking of Omaha.
Nah, it's a coastal state. There's beaches in Oregon. I think you're thinking of Omaha's a city, not a state. Oh my God. You know what? You take her to Florida. Take Jeff with you. He don't know where directions are.
So the Oviedo Dick Monster area where young love is safe and protected.
As a giant penis is hiding. Yeah, you got that all wrong. That's how you get hit by big penis. Just saying.
That's not the only way, but I guess that's one.
And finally, we have Jaime. How you doing, Jaime?
I'm doing okay.
Jaime, can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
Let's say it is the 1940s during World War II, right?
Okay.
You're in the U.S. It's all hands on deck.
Why do you keep bringing up World War II if we're in the U.S.?
Because the timeline matters. It's
but like if you say like 1940s, that is the timeline.
But most people don't know that, so I say World War II.
Most people don't know when.
But it's gonna make sense for Jamie's question, right? It's the 1940s during World War II. There's a labor shortage, Jaime. So your town was like, hey, we need you to work in the local sawmill, doing lumberjack stuff. But there could be a mummy.
Okay.
Are you going to go? Or are you going to get the heck out of Oregon? Even with its fine beaches.
Do I need a job? Like what?
You do need a job. Yeah.
There may be a mummy?
There could be.
Is this like guess the show? Is that what game we're playing? Like, is this Scooby-Doo? Is this a Scooby-Doo episode?
A little bit. I'll be honest with you. What we're covering felt like a Scooby-Doo story.
I'm working.
You would fight a mummy?
You said maybe a mummy.
But that means maybe.
There may be a mummy when I walk in outside right now.
Well, that doesn't mean you have to fight it if there is
and
one.
Yeah, why can't I? Maybe he wants to work with me.
Leave?
Everyone knows mummies attack you. Everyone knows
they curse you. They don't attack you. They curse you.
And how do you stop that curse? By fighting it and killing it. Everybody knows.
You gave me an option and I chose. Now live with it.
You didn't say anything about fighting. Now, the option wasn't, do you want to work in a sawmill or fight a mummy? Like that was.
All right. Hey, Jaime, do you want to work in a sawmill or fight a mummy?
Well, I mean, I don't want to fight a mummy. But...
Well, now I feel like I want to fight the mummy.
Would a mummy be hard to fight? I guess that's the top question I have.
Well, I think it depends what type of mummy it is.
I'll just throw my cigarette on him.
Yeah, like, is it like a magical mummy from the delightful Brendan Fraser film, The Mummy?
A magical mummy?
It has like
I feel like wouldn't all mummies be magical? Like because
no, there's like some lame mummies that are just like mummies.
If it's a mummy, it's a mummy that you're gonna fight. It has to be magical. I mean, it's not like you're just unless you're just going to the museum and punching a mummy for some reason. Like, you know what I mean?
I would pay a lot of money to see that movie.
Today at the Science Center,
just showing up in museums, punching mummies and like getting arrested.
Jeff goes to the Smithsonian, just starts punching mummies. No, it moved. Trust me.
It moved. Trust me. It was coming right for me.
He's a mummy hunter. Oh God. Well, hey everybody. As you know, last week we talked about Thanksgiving. Maybe wasn't based on anything, so we're having a King Vito number 4.
Was it based on Thanksgiving?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's nothing scary about Thanksgiving. Well, I mean, historically speaking, there is,
but not easy. That's not easy for
not our kind of scary.
To say.
Well, I guess that is true. So I thought we'd do King Vito, and I found a legend. I've been wanting to fit it in somewhere. Didn't know how I was going to do it because it's the best parts of the candy lady, the donkey lady.
No.
Oh God.
And the Goat Man and Popelik Bridge. It's all the best parts of those 3 stories.
All right, y'all have a good night.
Combined in one story.
Apparently, it has a mummy in it for some reason.
Well, we're going to be talking about the Bandage Man of Cannon Beach, and he's actually nicknamed. This takes place in Oregon. Actually, he's been nicknamed America's Mummy.
America's Mummy.
Yeah, because which I think makes it look how dumb we are sometimes. Because like it's technically not a mummy; it's just a guy wrapped in bandages.
Is that the royal we or?
Like, the royal we.
The we as in on this podcast, or
I said what I said.
Yeah, we seem to have a lot of influence on things.
I said what I said.
So, anyways, this may shock you. This story takes place in the 1940s in Oregon during World War II.
I was going to say, during what war?
Oh, that 1940s. I'm glad you clarified. World War II, 1940s. Okay.
Yeah, right. Have any of you ever heard of the Bandage Man?
No.
Oh boy, you are all in for a treat. I will be excited at the end to see if this replaces your favorite donkey lady or Poplick bridge goat man or bunny man or even the candy lady. See which one is your favorite out of we put the Bandage Man in there.
I mean, some of the choices you've given us is not like
are fantastic.
Bunny Man's only interesting because me and Jeff made it interesting.
Yeah, I know.
By somehow connecting it to George Washington.
And there's somehow.
Yeah.
And there's nothing you can do that's going to make Donkey Lady any good. So.
Yeah. You've literally beat that dead donkey.
Yeah, you're the worst.
I think the Poplick Bridge or whatever is when we first started making movies, though, on our own.
No, actually, it was Donkey Lady because they were going to make.
No, I wasn't on Donkey Later, so I meant us.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, because that's when we found out you're going to play all the parts.
Yeah.
Well, hey, tonight's story there's a lot of parts for you to play.
Okay.
So are we going to make a prequel to Brandon Fraser's Mummy?
I feel like we could put Brandon Fraser in this, and the twist would be.
I don't know. Why would we put him in?
This time he would be the mummy. That'd be the twist.
It's a prequel to the Mummy.
Oh yeah,
is this guy like the original American rap star?
You are the worst. Just the worst. Well, hey, everybody, let's get into it, shall we? Like I said, this takes place during World War II in America, 1940s. During that time, there was a massive labor shortage in the U.S. Because a lot of folks were overseas fighting in the war. So because of that, this was one of the unsafest times to work in the U.S. because production demands were very high because of the war efforts. The labor market was very low because there wasn't a lot of people able to work in the States. And so there's a lot of factory accidents and people injured during this time. This takes place in a logging factory near Cannon Beach in Oregon. And one very rainy, stormy day, they were working like crazy, trying to meet a high quota when one of the gentlemen was up climbing the logs, trying to line them up with the saw blades below because, they didn't really have a lot of safety equipment back then. They just did stuff. And the logs were all wet from the rain. And he slipped on a log and fell into a saw blade and was covered in saw blade cuts. Still alive. So the other workers hurried up and called the ambulance service. The ambulance service came. They were concerned that he was going to bleed out before they got to the hospital. So they instead took the time to wrap him in gauze and bandages head to toe to help stop some of the bleeding. I would imagine that would take probably, 30 minutes if you're wrapping somebody head to toe in bandages.
Just spin them around.
Are you asking?
Yeah, are you asking or telling us?
Tell me, what do you guys think? I mean, I've never wrapped anybody in
bandages.
Yeah, head to toe, like a mummy.
It might take longer. First of all, aren't they cleaning his wounds and everything? Like, it's
from all the articles I read, it did not seem like they were actually cleaning it. They were just trying to wrap him so he wouldn't bleed to death at the hospital.
The first problem is why, if you get cut on a saw blade in a lumber mill, it's not going to leave a bunch of cuts all over your body. It's going to cut you in half. Like that's because it cuts trees in half. It's going to do the same to you.
Hey, according to all the legends I saw, all the witnesses said he was covered in multiple deep cuts because he fell into these
and
saw
then
blades.
rolled all over the saw blades. Like what?
A little bit.
He did a break dance on the saw.
Yeah, like what was it? Like holy heck!
Yeah, right.
I mean, even the movie we just watched, Thanksgiving, when she fell into the saw blade, she didn't get covered in cuts. She got her insides put on the outside.
Yeah, that's.
Well, I'm sure there's a little bit of that.
Just a little bit?
Yeah, a little bit. But they took the 30 minutes, wrapped him head to toe, loaded him in the ambulance. Then the ambulance knew that they didn't have a lot of time left to save this guy's life. So they were speeding. And if anybody's ever seen videos of like Oregon coast and stuff, it can be like windy roads, they were coming up to a sharp bend. And the roads were so wet, when the ambulance driver went to brake, he ended up sliding and flipping over the bend onto off into the side of the water. They were they were on this beach area and crashing. A little bit later, a police chief of the Cannon Beach just happened to be driving by, and he saw the road all the accident, the guardrails all split and everything. And so he goes down there, finds the two ambulance drivers unconscious in the front of the ambulance. The doors of the back of the ambulance were open, but there was no patient.
Yeah, because you just flung him into the frickin' ocean.
all they found was a little piece of bloody bandage.
Just one little piece?
One little piece. Remember that. That's important later. So the police chief, they got the ambulance driver to the hospital. They're like, oh, we had a patient. So they decided to search this guy. They searched for 3 days. After 3 days, the police chief calls a search because he figured one of three things happened. Either when the ambulance flipped over, that guy got flung across the beach into the ocean and just floated away. And he's dead now. 2, he hit the sand, but an animal got a hold of him and dragged him into the forest. And he's dead now. Or 3, he woke up and went to go get help, and because of his wounds, couldn't contact anybody. Maybe he got to the hospital, had amnesia. So if he is alive, he'll eventually tell people. So they just called off the search after 3 days.
Because he's either dead or he doesn't know who he is.
Right.
Or nobody cares. There's
the one article I found, I thought I was like, oh, that's just poorly written. Then I found a couple that was all they're like, oh, he survived, but in his state, time he got to the hospital with the shock and trauma, he probably just couldn't remember anything. That's why he never told anybody he was still alive. Which I feel
investigation wrapped up very nicely.
Yeah, 3 days. I love when around this time frame when a lot of these investigations, after a couple of days, they're just like, either we got an answer or we're gonna make one up.
Yeah. They don't care anymore.
I wish I was a police chief in the 1940s. It sounds like the easiest job in the world. In certain areas. If I see something, I just be like, oh, which blew his dick off lightning? Yeah, it happens. Yeah, it happens.
Wasn't that well before the 40s?
I'm assuming there were still some people who believed that.
Oh, still in the 40s? Yeah. Still, okay.
I'm sure if you go to some places, there's some people who still believe it now.
Yeah, now there's some.
Fun fact, World War II was in the 40s.
Yeah, you didn't know. In case you didn't know. Jamie, it's funny you said it, though, because there was over the summer,
this summer?
Yeah. A politician in the U.S. government was complaining because he heard a coven of witches was trying to put curses on him because of what he was trying to save America, and he took that very seriously. So you joke, there are still some butthurt dudes think there's some women out there want to blow their dick off lightning.
Fair enough. Yeah,
they ain't wrong either.
Yeah, they're not.
It still happened. Anyways, so they basically after a couple years. Nobody came forward. It was like, hey, I was that guy that fell into the saws, rolled all around, and they never found a body. Then people just didn't think about it. So I think about 10 years passed. War's over.
Did he have any family or anything?
You would think so. You would think if he worked at that lumber yard, that the ambulance drivers would be like, hey, we don't remember who this guy is, but he worked at the lumber yard. And that the police officer would go to the lumberyard and be like, hey, who was that guy?
Let's check your payroll. Who are you paying? He didn't show up for work. Everybody that saw him fall into the sawmill.
Everything I looked at, none of it provided a name. They're like, they never found the guy or figured out who he was. which makes little to no sense.
Complete sense. That's completely reasonable.
Seems like a basic case of cause and effect.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. You son of a bitch.
I got to start that already.
So, like I said, 10 years passed. It's a Friday night. There's a couple of young lovebirds going on a date. They decide. Hold on a second. What are you doing, pup? My pup was all excited about the Bandage Man.
You just wanted to show off Lester there, don't I?
I do want to show off Lester.
Not gonna lie, I thought your shirt had a penis wrapped in Christmas lights on it.
It pretty much does. I mean, you're not wrong.
You know what's really funny? Totally unrelated. Last night, I'm like rewatching through Brooklyn Nine-Nine. That's not important.
Oh, that show's so good.
It is. But last night, Gina is where she's like, she decides her spirit animal is a naked mole rat, and she's wearing like the same shirt, but without the Christmas lights. And I just like almost took a picture of it. I was just so goddamn tired. But I was like laughing to myself. It was like Eli's shirt without and she's just talking about them being the ugliest animal or whatever. It's her spirit animal now. Whatever.
Moles are majestic creatures.
Well,
majestic.
They don't spread disease at all.
None. They just frolic in the dirt. Anyway,
snakes like him. Tastes like chicken.
And what are snakes? Reptiles. What are also reptiles? Lizards. Also, lizard people. The enemy of the free world.
Oh, boy.
You're welcome. Anyways, 10 years. Like I said, 10 years goes by since they don't find this guy. And there's these young couple decide that, their date the night was early. They wanted to go off somewhere private, do a little bit of necking, as they used to say. And they knew, and the one of the pair of the couples realized, oh, I know this like area, this road in Canyon Beach, not a lot of people go to. There's a little pull off area on the bend. Let's go there and talk about stuff, because that's what all the articles referred to it as. They were going somewhere private to talk about stuff. So they take his truck, they go to this area, and they put the windows down to let the breeze in. It's summer, and they're talking about stuff when they noticed a very heavy odor of rotten flesh, as they described it. They just assumed maybe an animal died in the area. Then, but they continue, as you would when the smell of rotten flesh is around you and you're just talking about stuff. And then all of a sudden they hear some rustling in the bushes. And his girlfriend was like, I don't feel comfortable here because there's rustling and that smell. And he was like, oh no, it's just, probably a dead animal or something. Other animals eating that smell. It's fine. Listen, let's just keep talking about stuff. When all of a sudden they both felt something climb up into the back of his truck. So they turn around to look out the back window of the truck, and they see a man wrapped head to toe in bandages with blood soaked through, staring at them. They scream in panic, in which case this man started screaming and banging on the back of their truck and jumping up and down. The gentleman, the driver, hurried up, turned on the truck and sped off. They drove back into like town where there's lights, and they pulled over and they looked. The man was no longer in the back of their truck, but what was there, Jamie?
Bandages.
A small piece of bloody bandages.
Yeah. A small piece, sorry, because that's all that was left for. Yeah.
So they went to the police and they're like, hey, there's a guy out in them woods in bandages. He smells terrible. And he attacked us.
He's a pervert.
and he's a pervert. Which I would argue is probably what we're going to decide at the end this guy is. But yeah, I mean, listen, that's no fun if you're going out there to talk about stuff, on a lone road, and some guy covered in bandages jumped up and down the back of your truck. No one wants to be a part of that, right?
I wouldn't say nobody.
Even if he smells like rotten flesh.
Once again, you'd be shocked at some people.
When in Rome.
Fair enough. Since that time, there's been over 100 reports of either along that area in Canyon Beach of either going on the beach and finding 10 to 20 half-eaten animals, or people going to that area to pull off the side of the road to talk about stuff, and all claiming that they're there. They look in the back window. There is a man covered in bandages. Now, people that are truck says he crawls in the truck bed. And they all get scared, drive off. People in like SUVs or cars say he climbs up onto the roof and hangs onto the roof where they drive off. All of them claim when they get back to town, there's a piece of bloody bandage either in the back or the top.
This guy's worse than the donkey man.
First off, donkey lady. How dare you?
Donkey woman. I'm not even going to presume that she's a lady. This guy's worse.
Wow. Mm-hmm. Wow. Okay, hold on. That's rude. Very rude of you. Typically, what they have noticed a couple trends though, when they've seen this guy, it always involves typically young people, or people who are going to this secluded spot on the beach, all claiming that they were in various courses of conversation. That's how I'll put it, which I think is kissing or having some good old fashioned car beach sex.
And what state is this happening in?
Oregon.
And what is the largest cash crop in Oregon?
Marijuana.
What's the second largest cash crop in Oregon?
I don't know. What is it?
Mushrooms.
Oh, okay. That explains it.
When was the last sighting?
Everybody up there is having a really good time. That's all I'm saying.
There were sightings this year.
Yeah.
Of this guy. Like they say they're now the locals, like I was reading, they're like he shows up after dark, so you don't go to that area of the beach. So I guess it's kind of a secluded area of the beach. It's not one that, like, just like the locals kind of frequent. They're like, don't go to that area of the beach after dark. They tell all the kids and perverts, like, don't go to that area of the beach to do hanky panky because this guy's going to be watching, and then he gets mad when you catch him watching, which I can only presume be because he doesn't want to he doesn't want you to stop. You know what I mean? They also say if you go on the beach, you see a bunch of dead animals, just don't go on the beach that day.
Sounds like this guy has some Dick Monster energy. Like he's a similar motive.
I'm pretty sure, like, if the Catch a Predator was still on TV, and they ever went to a beach bungalow on this beach, this guy'd show up. That's all I'm saying. I think he's a pervert, But the locals, they all have two theories about what this guy is. They all agree on one thing. He died when that ambulance crashed.
They all agreed he died. I like this. Okay, great. We're off to a great start.
They all agree on that one thing. But
he died.
In the town, there's two schools of thought about what he is. Half the town believe that he is a zombie, and that he's trying to eat people's flesh. So that's why when everybody says they smell rotten flesh, that's another common thing when they think he's in the area, they smell this rotten flesh smell. It's because he's coming to eat flesh. That's why he eats. They think these animals are half eaten. It's him eating them. He's basically a zombie mummy coming to eat your flesh. The other school of thought is that he's a highway ghost, which we talked about with our trucker back in our truckers episode. They believe he's a highway ghost, and he's actually warning people who drive too fast not to drive fast so they wreck. And they also think he prevents people from having side of the road relations because that's a good way to get hit by a car. And so I think he's actually warning people.
Well, that second theory is
safety.
That's the second theory is dumber than the donkey lady.
Does he wear a crossing guard uniform too?
Yeah, he doesn't stop. You're already parked. Either if that was his assignment that he got, then he's fucking it up.
He's the cryptid version of the church lady. Is that what he is?
Yeah.
He's just.
Is he friends with the Buick Devil?
Yeah, a little bit. But like
parking attendant.
But to your point, Jeff, the people that believe he's a zombie, they all
are dumb.
Don't think that he's a ghost because they're like, well, why doesn't
can't smell ghosts? Like,
well, there's that, but they're also like, why doesn't he stop people driving? Why do people not see him until they're pulled off the side of the road? And he's like, watching them, wink, wink, doing some stuff and things. Doesn't really sound like a ghost action,
Ghost action.
Ghost actions.
He leaves a bunch of sticky bandages around.
And he leaves bloody bandages around.
Have they ever had those tested for DNA?
No. It was just surprising.
Why would you?
I also tried to find if they had any of them in evidence. And I did find an article where like these people who were researching this went to the police station and go, hey, a lot of people have reported this. Have you kept any of the bandages? And they said no. And they go, if any of the bandages were collected, they were kept. Which tells me that's their nice way of saying, we never got no bandages.
This is a pretend story.
There were sightings this year, Dave.
I'm sure there were, because people are living their most fabulous life in Oregon, and I applaud them.
Yeah, but were they doing this back in the 40s? You know what's going on in the 40s, Dave?
Yes, they were. Because what else are you going to do in the 40s in Oregon?
Work at the logging company and fall into saw blades
with Bigfoot?
Well, maybe. All I'm saying, if they've had 100 sightings, that's a lot of sightings.
Of what?
Of a guy in bandages staring into their windows like a pervert,
leaving a bloody napkin behind.
Which I would argue maybe the worst kind of pervert.
Yeah, it's not great.
I'm just saying. So, if we compare him to Donkey Lady, I think he does more. You would have to agree he does more than what Donkey Lady does, right?
Are you? I'm sorry. I need clarification. Are you getting on the side of how stupid Donkey Lady?
No, I love Donkey Lady, but you guys said
not what I'm hearing.
You guys said that her.
It sounds like you're comparing the two, and you have found her wanting.
I love the Donkey Lady. I think the hoof attack, perfect attack, but you guys didn't like it. So now you have a guy who's a pervert and leaves bloody bandages, and let's also not forget, does take a joyride either in the back of your truck or on top of your car roof. So is that more your speed?
Is this Donkey Lady's husband?
I don't know. It just seems too perverted for Donkey Lady. She's classy.
Too perverted for a lady that's
Donkey Lady's classy.
A woman that's a donkey.
She didn't choose to be half donkey. She didn't choose. No, she was third on the bridge.
Awful close with that donkey.
Exactly.
There's certain portions of the world where you can see shows.
Yeah. I'm sorry. The last Campfire Tales, when we were talking about the Greek Furies, what you told us was one of the most powerful creatures in the cosmos.
That's correct.
And how close the Donkey Lady was. And now you're saying a dude wrapped in bandages
yanking in the back of your car
might be cooler than the Donkey Lady. So you gotta pick a lane, dude.
All right, let me no, I didn't say he was cooler. I'm just saying, does he do more for you than the Donkey Lady does?
For me?
Yeah.
No.
All right, let me ask you this, Dave. What's your theory then? What do you think of it? If you don't like the ghost, you don't like the zombie pervert, what's your theory then? You've had theories for everything else? What's your theory about the Bandage Man?
Oh, I think it's pretty clear who the Bandage Man is. I think it's pretty obvious. The Bandage Man is just people are being confused, and it's rightfully so. But we have well-established history in our folklore and legends in America of the Invisible Man. And obviously, when he needs to be seen, he bandages himself up. So this is just the story of the Invisible Man, who obviously is part of the Agricolati and is building out sort of the Western front of what's happening. Now, unfortunately, he's on the side of the Tennessee Wild Man, who we've already established as Andrew Jackson. And he's trying to reestablish relations with the Bigfoot community, the nation of Bigfoot, if you will, in the northwestern coastal area. And obviously the big feet they're pretty rough and tumble. So you're going to get beat up a little bit for that.
Yeah, right. Hey, can I ask you a question? How does that cover the perverted stuff of him watching people have sex in their cars?
I think again, and we've talked about this with the Dick Monster and with several of the other cryptids that you meant. I think that's a misunderstanding that you're laying on top of who the Bandage Man is. I don't think he's there to, let's say, observe young love. I think the young love is going to the secluded places where he's already existing. You know, the same areas you would find the Bigfoot community is where
the staring in the window and then climbing into the back of their truck or on top of the roof of their cars. That is.
Oh yeah, that's normal Invisible Man stuff. It's
just normal Invisible Man stuff.
Yeah, I mean he's a creep. He's the Invisible Man. I think of all of the classic monsters of the 30s and 40s, the Invisible Man, we all agree he's sort of the most pervy.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Rapey weirdos of them all. I mean, it's just kind of part of his MO.
But you guys want him in the Agricolati?
Oh, I didn't say we wanted him. I'm saying he's on the bad side. He's on the Tennessee Wildman side of things. He is not on the beloved Bunny Man, Abraham Lincoln side of the equation.
Now I've heard a different story.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
I've heard there's two camps, right? This is in fact a Bigfoot.
Oh,
now some people say he's an old Bigfoot with male pattern baldness, so he wraps himself in bandages, or he's an alopecia Bigfoot, and nobody's quite sure which one. So,
but no one's ever claimed him to be like 7 to 10 feet tall, though.
What's that have to do with anything?
How's he Bigfoot if he's not 7 to 10 feet tall?
He has big feet. He doesn't have to be that tall.
Yeah.
Oh, so you're saying Bigfoot's not actually tall? He just has big feet.
No, Bigfoot's 86 feet tall. This particular one is not.
Oh, so not all big feet are tall.
Which is why
they just have big feet.
He's got medical issues, as Jeff has just established. He's got a lot going on.
Yeah, this guy, I mean, he's not, and he doesn't understand as far as the pervert aspect. He just doesn't really understand what's happened. So he's trying to figure stuff out. He's like,
why are these kids in my backyard?
Yeah, what's going on here? Like, where get off my lawn? Like, what are you doing?
But he silently watches until he notices.
Yeah, he's trying to figure it out. He's like,
oh, okay. You know what I would love?
You ever see something you're like surprised by, and you're like, what is happening over there? You know, like,
you know what I would love?
Like, what's that?
I would love to set up a tent on this beach and force you to spend the night. And the real Bandage Man shows up in his rotten flesh, trying to pervertly eat you, and then you can see how foolish.
I don't think it's going to work.
The Agricolati. Why not?
Because we're not going to be making out. So
no, but he's still a pervert, you know. He's just got to see, like, he's going to be like, hey, there's people here, and I'm a big pervert.
That doesn't you know how sense. Perverts work.
Well, I'm not a pervert. Of course I
who would say that?
A pervert.
I would argue that this is probably the biggest pervert we have covered.
Really?
More pervert than the Dick Monster, who also liked watching people, but typically he only watched people who are smoking weed. You know?
Which I think relates to this Oregon story as well.
Could. Wait, so you're saying that none of this is real? These people were just high?
Mm-hmm. As a kite.
Then how do you explain the guy missing out on the back of the ambulance?
Most of our stories.
What? That's not even true, Jamie. Then what other story?
I feel like it's the, I'm gonna bring. I think my Bigfoot theory is probably correct, but because these people are high, they don't quite understand what's happening. It's like a reverse inception.
Yeah,
reverse inception
the situation.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's like they've been reverse incepted.
That just means they're awake.
That's you don't understand. Yeah, unless you've been reverse incepted, you're not.
Have you been reverse incepted?
I don't want to get into it, but you just wouldn't understand it.
It's part of the training. We can't talk about it.
It's one thing until you receive your first your official card. You can't be on this train. You know,
your official overalls.
I'm just surprised I've never been asked to join. You know, as much as we've covered it.
You're surprised.
Well, I mean,
don't be surprised.
Criteria.
What are you saying? I don't fit the criteria. Look at all the knowledge I
I
have.
think that's exactly what he said.
Look at all the things I know.
You're one of these
There's
guys.
There's guide rail. I'm just gonna say there's guide rails in place for recruitment. That's all I'm gonna say. So you can take that statement for however you would like.
Well, all I'm gonna say is, you jerks. All I'm gonna say is that when I was doing research,
all I'm gonna say after that statement is don't take a trip to Oregon. So
yeah, don't mess with the leader of our jellyfish division. He knows what he's doing.
Is that what Jeff is, the leader of the jellyfish division?
100%.
I'm just saying I wouldn't go to the beach if I were you. Jamie, the good thing about New Jersey is the jellyfish have needles sticking out of them when you go there.
Oh, so you mean you don't have to get hit with like their weird tentacle thing?
No, the needles get you first.
You're dead before you know it.
Yeah.
I don't know if this is possible, Jamie, but I'd probably just tie a bunch of tires to yourself before you go to the beach here. That way they can't touch you.
I don't go to the beach, so
no, you blend right in. It's like camouflage at the beach.
Have we really completed the entire story of the Bandage Man? That's the whole thing, right?
Yeah, I thought you guys were going to talk more about him being a pervert, but like you did the docu lady, but you guys just had none of it.
We don't know if he's a pervert. You're assuming he's
literally his whole history. Every time he's seen is watching people have sex in a car.
What if he doesn't understand what's happening? That's all I'm saying.
How do you don't understand?
He's trying to learn. Would you call E.T. a pervert if he was just standing there?
Yeah, did you see his finger? He's got a weird glow finger. That dude is for sure a pervert.
No, he's no.
Nothing has a finger like that is not a pervert.
No.
I stand by what I say. I hate E.T. I hate him.
You know what? You do.
You know what made me furious? I don't even watch everything. Everything. So I don't watch Super Bowl. Sports dumb. And I was the Super Bowl though. They did that new ET commercial, and I hated it.
They did?
Yeah.
New ET commercial.
The ET came down to revisit Elliot, and Elliot has kids. He was all shocked they had kids, but then he was like, "I can't stay, Elliot, because I miss my little turd kids." And he gets back into the ship and just go home. But as parents, he was letting him point that weird finger at his children. They should take Elliot's kids away. That's what I think.
Oh my God.
This is some commercial. Bigfoot backhoe nonsense. You get hung up on the weirdest crap, dude.
I think we all get hung up on weird stuff on this show. You and Jeff literally made a farming conspiracy theory.
I think we didn't make it.
No, I'm pretty sure he did.
And we may have
we've shown the light on it.
You know, I just find it odd that no other I look at conspiracy theory sometimes. I've never seen this one.
You know what makes a great conspiracy theory is that you haven't heard of it.
Imagine that.
It's not a conspiracy theory if no one's ever heard of it.
Exactly. It's that good at being a conspiracy theory. You didn't even
boom, reverse incepted.
Yeah, you know what? You both are Bandage Men. That's what you are.
If they made Bandage Man in the movie, who do you think would play him? Would it be Ryan Gosling or would it be maybe Christopher Walken? Who do you think?
You are the worst. And we all know if they made a Bandage Man movie that they would make it Keanu Reeves and try to put a sad twist on why he's a big pervert.
Why are you so hung up on his sexual orientation?
He was watching people.
I feel like you're trying to get him in your club.
Point. You're projecting quite a bit.
I feel like.
What do you mean I'm projecting?
Yeah.
That was his whole deal. They're like, you either go to the beach and there's like a bunch of half-eaten animals and it smells like rotten flesh, or you're getting busy in your car and like this asshole's jumping in the back of your truck or on top of shaking and jumping up and down. So like, I don't think I'm projecting. That's just cold hard facts.
They're the facts that you chose to bring to us.
And I'm trying to figure out.
Grant you that.
And I'm trying to figure out is if this guy fell into saw blades, how did he become a zombie? He wasn't bitten. He wasn't exposed to anything.
Zombie.
I'm going to back up something Jeff said at the top. If you fall on a saw blade, you're not getting scars. You're getting
cuts. Yeah, that's why it's not Bandage Man. It's Bigfoot.
Well, it's funny bring that because like
you've just disproven your whole theory.
The one article I read,
reverse incepted.
Oh, the worst. One article I read about the saw blades was like, oh no, it wasn't just one saw blade. They just three saw blades next to each other.
They make Lincoln logs. So
that is not how lumber yards work.
They're like, in this saw that he fell into, it was three saw blades.
Three little saws
next to each other. And he like fell and like kind of rolled across them. That's how he got all the cuts.
I think you're mistaking this with a Saw movie. Because that's not the way they
I didn't write the article. Listen, I didn't make up this legend, okay? This is what they believe in Oregon. This is what they believe in Oregon.
Believes.
They do. They believe in the Bandage Man. They literally nicknamed it "It's America's Mummy" because they're like, this is the only mummy from America. But I'm like, it's not a mummy. It wasn't mummified. It's just an asshole wrapped in bandages. Which makes me think in Oregon they don't know what a mummy is.
That's a very real possibility. Also,
see what I mean? See what I mean? And I don't think they know what a mummy is in Oregon. That's all I'm saying.
If he opened up a restaurant, would it be Sarcophagi Fieri?
Oh my God.
That one was stretching it.
That was the donkey lady of puns.
Listen, what did Donkey Lady ever do to you guys? Like, Donkey Lady's not that bad. I would argue Donkey Lady is better than the Bandage Man.
No.
I know you would argue that.
Are you sitting here telling me the Bandage Man is better than Donkey Lady?
I'm saying here comparing those two and the Candy Lady and the goat.
Yeah, you built this up quite a bit, and it turns out that it's nonsense.
You are categorizing cat turds in the litter box.
Mm-hmm.
That's
wait. Well, hold on a minute.
You're grading cat turds in a litter box. I don't want to take part in that.
Candy Lady literally is involved in like the hobo community, and like we learned all about that. You're saying that's a cat turd?
Yeah, 100%.
I feel like I'm gonna have to do an episode on Owlman now because Owlman is cool. We talked about before. He's the one that picks up drunk people in the parking lot of the bar. He's looking like
Ubers them home.
Texas,
Tejas.
Yeah. Wait. So, like, are you saying are you comparing? Was that depressed pig you liked again? Squonk? Are you saying that Jaime Squonk? Because Jaime Squonk is in the same arena as these folks. Are you saying that her Squonk is no good?
I know that
I don't think I referenced the Squonk at all.
But I am because it's in the same arena. It doesn't do anything. It's just a ugly, weird pig thing.
Yeah, I think he's trying to pick a fight that doesn't exist. Is what he's trying to do.
It's the same category as all these other. It's like if we're being honest, the C-roll cryptids, right? These are the C-roll.
Oh, the C. Yeah, I mean, that was his episode too.
These are the C-rolls, right? I mean, if we're being honest.
Some of them are not even C, because that's average.
Which ones are you considering average?
Don't make me say it, Eli.
Which one? No,
hurt your feelings.
Out of them, which one do you consider average?
Of the ones we've just referenced?
Yeah, we'll say between Candy Lady, Donkey Lady, Goat Man at Public Bridge, that three-legged lady that ran, I included her in there, and Squonk. Out of those five, which would you consider C-level cryptid?
Squonk.
All of them?
And Squonk and Goat Man, just because you hate goats.
Okay. Are the rest in D-level?
At best.
At best.
Even that three-legged, the lady who sewed a third leg under her ran with it?
Yeah, that one makes no sense to me to this day.
You literally had a lady who just carried TV around her pocket that people thought was a hobo.
Exactly.
Oh, God. I just don't think you guys appreciate the people's cryptids, as I'd like to call them.
The Mole King vetoes continue to be some of my favorite episodes. I will give you that, because who else on the planet is talking about this shit?
Yeah. You know what? There was Caitlin's friend started that cryptid podcast.
Yeah, they told me that they were doing that specifically because of the inspiration from the monkey.
Oh, really?
I think it's their byline on their podcast.
Oh, I didn't know that. Well, that's nice of them. But they did an episode on the Bunny Man. So I think they have been listening because no one ever talked about the Bunny Man before.
Did they reference George Washington?
I didn't listen, so I don't know.
Okay.
Because I was
if they didn't, then they've missed a big chunk of the actual history.
There's only 2 people who's ever said that history. And they're both of this podcast.
You're welcome.
And I'm not one of them.
The answer. No, you're not.
I just don't know how I'm supposed.
You keep trying to be, but you're not.
I don't know how I'm supposed to believe you two when one of you spatial awareness is way off.
That has nothing to do with my historical awareness.
You are referring to something.
That's my sixth sense.
Is spatial awareness?
No, historical awareness. I see dead people. You know what I mean?
But you said they weren't dead.
For the last decade has been jellyfish, which their whole volume is fluid. So substantial, solid mass is not something he deals with on a daily basis.
Not something I dabble in.
All right. Okay. Well, you know what? In that case, then, Jeff, because with your hatred of jellyfish, what happens if instead of the Bandage Man, you're in a car with your date and you look out the window and it's just a giant jellyfish floating in your back window staring at you? Now is it a problem?
So I'm driving and a jellyfish gets
you're pulled off the side of the road.
Oh my God.
This whole situation.
You're necking with your date, and you feel the car shake a little bit. You look out the back window, and there's a jellyfish just staring in your window.
Well, first off, my vehicle would be equipped with anti-jellyfish measures, so you don't even have to worry about that happening.
All right. Okay. But let's say they
you're
wasn't
dealing with, Eli.
Let's say it wasn't.
No, it will be. There's no, it wasn't. Like that's not a possibility in my world.
It is currently in the real reality.
Yeah, it is
equipped.
And that's not a scenario that you should joke about because it can't happen to you.
No, jellyfish can walk up on land and stare in your window while you're necking your lady. In 1940s during World War II. Fly? They don't have wings.
Telekinesis, brother.
What do you need wings for to fly? I'm not sure what world you live in.
Name one thing on planet Earth that flies without wings that is not
jellyfish. Jamie,
Boom.
Jamie, could you do something with these two?
No.
Reverse inception.
Jamie, would you take the threat of the Bandage Man seriously? Do you take it seriously?
No. But to be fair, Eli, I love learning and I love these times together and I love these stories, but I don't take much of this seriously. So let's. Take these threats. You wanted me to be terrified of Annabelle, and I still can't get behind.
Jamie, someone died in the story of Annabelle.
Someone got in a motorcycle accident and lived, or whatever.
They died 3 months later.
Yeah, whatever.
3 months.
People got in a car accident and lived. So I get them confused sometimes.
Jamie, you should be afraid because they're trying to find a new home for Annabelle. Okay.
Oh, are they? They don't know where to put her? I'll take her.
What if they put it in your house? Don't even joke about that. How are you supposed to fight it?
I'm not.
She would just give it to Sari.
When Sari rips it apart.
Man.
Rips her innards out.
Maybe you should be a ghost hunter, Jamie. You're not afraid of anything. You'd fight it.
The problem with Jamie being a ghost hunter is she'd go into a place and say
there's nothing here.
There's no ghost here. And then walk right back out.
Done.
You know what? I'm not sure why you referred to the Bandage Man as a threat. They're like, I think that's the real. That's the real
he just
problem
waving in cars.
Situation. Well, he hasn't done anything.
He jumps in the back of your truck or jumps on top of the roof of your car.
He doesn't do anything.
It says hi.
And leaves a bloody bandage as he's watching you.
Now, is it like a?
Do you think everybody's always having sex in every car? Always,
all time. All time. And he walks through a parking lot like, I don't know what's going on here.
Look at all these cars.
Anytime that he is seen, he leaves a bloody bandage piece.
That's his business card.
Who the hell wants that business card?
You know who.
And you say that's not a threat? That's how you get infections, Dave.
Is it Bandage Man or Hepatitis
Man? What I call that? Call that a threat. That's what I call that.
He just goes to like public swimming pools and leaves band-aids in them. Like,
see, that's a threat. You reversed inception yourself.
I double reversed inception.
You double reversed inception yourself. See?
Yep.
That's what you get.
Well, I'm immune to it, so.
You know, as the first American mummy, you know what else they call him? Wrapped in America.
You should be ashamed of yourself. You should be ashamed of yourself. I'm going to revoke your dad joke privileges because these aren't good.
You can't revoke dad joke privileges. That's the whole point. Is like they're not privileged. Like you don't get privileges to make dad jokes. They just come.
They happen to you.
They happen to you.
Let me ask you this, Jamie.
Yeah.
Not to keep harping, but of everything we've covered on the Campfire Tales over the last year.
Oh, Jesus. Yeah.
Has there been nothing that has frightened you a little?
No.
Not even all the alien stuff?
No. Because I don't think they're like coming here anytime soon. Like for
the day. You scare us, Eli.
And
I just want you to be scared.
I don't believe in ghosts, so all of those are out the window.
Because if you're scared, you're ready. Wait, you didn't even. What about Mall Dryer? Because that rock, remember?
The scary rock. Oh, Jesus Christ, the rock that we're having a picnic at, that we're making a team open our McDonald's on. I think that one got me. That one.
Listen, I think we should start a show where we go to these places and disprove like these nonsensical ones. So like we go have a picnic on Mall Drive.
Yeah, like the dumb thing, like the really dumb ones.
Yep.
Like
we'll all spend the night in a van on the side of the road. We're Bandage Man.
Sounds god awful.
It'd be a nice van, like not a crappy van.
And then you just say, "Nope, he's not here," and you just move on. You just.
I guess this one doesn't exist.
Hey, listen, I'll tell you what. If we stay in that van, I'll even pack peanut butter sandwiches and no bake cookies for us all to have. See, it'd be a good time. And a DVD player with some of my favorite movies.
Some of your what are some of the Mo King's favorite movies? I have no idea where that would go.
Oh well, the Lord of the Rings extended editions. We could watch those.
Jamie,
no,
Jamie,
I'm out.
The Blair Witch.
Oh my God, Eli!
Yeah.
Why would you do this to me?
Because you'll get a peanut butter sandwich and some no bake cookies.
Not no bake cookies.
Yeah. Have you ever had no bake cookie?
Yeah, that's so.
Yeah, see. And then we'll just prove the Bunny Man. Then we'll go to the Donkey Lady Bridge. We'll be respectful, put her spirit to rest.
You'll disprove the Bunny Man, and then you'll go respect the donkey.
And put her to rest. That's right. Yeah. Be respectful.
Gotcha.
Be respectful. Hey, Dave, you want to tell the folks about the Wicked Wild?
Yeah, you're here. Welcome. This is our Bandage Man episode. So, a little something special right before the Christmas season. Hope you enjoyed it. If you want to learn more about us, you can go to our website, thewickedwild.com, where you've got articles and stuff there. We've also got a shop with merchandise. If you're interested in supporting us, we certainly would appreciate it. To that end, if you would give us a review, give us a comment, let us know your thoughts on the latest version of the Cryptid or the Mo King Veto. This is volume 3, is that correct?
Volume 4.
Volume 4 of the Mo King Vetoes.
Yeah.
So let us know what you think. And if you have any feedback, we'd love to have that. Podcast at thewickedwild.com.
And it's funny we're doing this around Christmas because just like unwrapping presents, you unwrap bandages.
Wow.
If you think about it.
I set you up with so many dad jokes, and that was the one you
all of them were like I was just trying to match your energy.
I was also thinking about him being wrapped like a present. So,
see, it wouldn't be scary or nearly as perverted if he was wrapped in like tissue paper instead of bandages.
Ribbon, like red and green.
Oh yeah, like ribbon. Yeah.
Bows.
Would you put a bow? Like what I say? Would you want to put a bow on?
One of those bows right on top, like the little,
on his head.
Like bows. Yeah. Like those really obnoxious, like the ones that you get in like CVS for presents.
I feel like I would just want to hit him with my car if I saw that.
I heard he has a mistletoe belt buckle.
Oh, you're gross. But it matches his pervert energy. I just imagine, if anybody's watched The Office, I imagine Bandage Man to basically be Todd Packer.
Oh boy.
Like everything I've read about, like reading all this, like in my head, it was always just Todd Packer.
Are you saying the Bandage Man is a big William Hung fan?
Yep. Yes, I am. Yes, I am. Oh God. Well, hey, everybody. I hope you learned a lot. Stay away from Oregon, because even if you don't believe the Bandage Man is going to be a pervert to you, apparently there's so much drugs there. The whole state's mentally made up a weird pervert who fell into some saws and didn't get cut in half or lose any appendages, which is another weird thing I find about this story. All of his appendages still. So take that for what it is, and we'll catch y'all next time. Bye.